He sits across from his therapist. 34 years old, successful, steady, well-liked by almost everyone who knows him. She asks him about his childhood, and he shrugs. It was fine. Happy, normal. His parents were great. And he means it. He cannot tell her why his partner is leaving, why she says she can never reach him, why no one, not even him, seems to fully know who he is. This is a story you have seen before. A good childhood that produced a quiet, unreachable adult. And somewhere tonight, a parent is tucking in a perfectly easy, perfectly happy child with no idea they are watching that story begin. There is nothing wrong with wanting your child to be happy. Nothing at all. But happiness alone does not build an emotionally available adult. Today we are going to talk about what does, and what the happiest childhoods quietly miss. Your child comes to you with a small sadness. A friend said something. They didn't get invited. They lost a game. And because you love them and want their world to be bright, you say something like, "Oh, don't be sad. It's not that bad. Let's do something fun." Their face lifts. The moment passes. You feel you did your job. You made them happy again. Here is what their nervous system is quietly recording. Sadness is not welcome here. The version of me my parents want is the smiling one. Bring only that one. Developmental researchers have a name for this. John Gottman and Lynn Katz at the University of Washington spent decades studying what they called emotion-dismissing parents. Loving caregivers who, without meaning to, treat their children's negative feelings as something to wave away rather than sit with. Their longitudinal research found these children developed weaker emotional regulation, not stronger. They learned to suppress, not process. And decades later, in Mary Main's adult attachment interview research at UC Berkeley, those same adults consistently describe their childhoods as happy and normal, yet cannot produce specific memories of being sad, angry, or afraid as children. The memories are missing because the feelings were never welcomed long enough to form them. We live in a culture that treats a cheerful child as proof of good parenting. We post the smiles, we praise the children who bounce back fast. And without meaning to, loving parents trade their child's full emotional range for the appearance of a happy childhood. The adult this produces is the one who seems fine, always fine, who cannot name what they feel, who stays composed at a funeral and then sits in therapy at 40 saying, "I don't know why I'm numb." The shift is small. When your child brings you sadness, do not reach for happiness. Reach for them. That makes sense that you're sad. I'm right here. Sadness does not need to be fixed. It needs to be witnessed. That is how feelings become survivable. That is how all of a child gets to stay inside them. But there is a second pattern at work in the quietest, gentlest homes, one that operates on an entirely different level. You are proud of this one. You and your partner almost never argue in front of the kids. When there is tension, you take it to another room. When you are frustrated, you wait until bedtime. Your children have grown up in a calm, harmonious home, and you see this, rightly in many ways, as one of the great gifts you have given them. Here is the lesson the child quietly absorbs. Difficult feelings happen somewhere else, between grown-ups, behind closed doors. When something goes wrong between people, it disappears, and then everyone acts normal again. Love does not include rupture. And crucially, love does not include repair. This is where Edward Tronick's research becomes essential. His decades of work on mother-infant interaction at Harvard and UMass Boston found something genuinely counterintuitive. Well-regulated parent-child pairs are actually in mismatched emotional states roughly 70% of the time. What distinguishes secure attachment is not the absence of rupture. It is the presence of visible repair. A child does not learn that relationships are safe by never seeing them strain. They learn it by seeing them strain and then come back together. The cultural story points the opposite way. "We never fought in front of the kids" is almost always said with pride. A quiet home is treated as the mark of a functional family, and so the child who never witnesses healthy conflict grows up believing that conflict itself is the end of love. This is the adult who bolts at the first real argument, who goes cold the moment their partner raises something difficult, who cannot stay inside a hard conversation. They were not taught that love survives friction. They were taught that love depends on its absence. The shift is this. Let them see a small rupture. Let them see the repair. I was short with you earlier. I'm sorry. I love you. That sentence, witnessed 100 times in childhood, becomes an entire adult capacity for intimacy. And there is one more pattern, maybe the most culturally invisible of all. You gave them things you never had. The birthdays, the trips, the sports teams, the tutors, the lessons, the experiences. You worked hard so they could have a life full of good things. And they did. Their childhood is, by every visible measure, rich. And yet, something is quietly missing from the time you spend together. Your attention is often somewhere else. Your phone, your work, the next thing on the list. You are with them, but you are rarely fully with them. Here is what their nervous system is recording. My parents love me through things. Their attention is elsewhere. Being in the same room is not the same as being felt. Research from the Harvard Center on the Developing Child has made this unambiguous. Brain architecture is not built by trips or toys or activities. It is built by small, repeated moments of emotional attunement, what they call serve and return. The micro-interaction where your child looks at you and your eyes actually meet theirs. The ordinary minute when you put the phone down, look up, and are simply there. Over 1 million neural connections per second are being shaped in those early years. And no vacation, however beautiful, replaces a single one of them. Our culture has quietly redefined a happy childhood as a well-provided one. The photos show the vacations. The report is that the kids had everything. And a loving, exhausted parent can finish 18 years of parenting having given 1,000 experiences and surprisingly few moments of undistracted, unphoned, unhurried presence. The adult this produces is the one who loves through gifts, who plans elaborate things but cannot simply sit with a partner in grief, who mistakes doing for connecting, who confuses the busy love they received for the kind they now cannot give. The shift is almost embarrassingly simple. 10 minutes a day. Phone down, eyes up. Fully there. Less provision, more presence. So what does all of this mean for you? It means a happy childhood is not the goal. An honest one is. One where your child is welcome in all their feelings, not just the cheerful ones. One where they see love survive small ruptures and find its way back. One where your presence, not your provision, is the thing they grow up remembering. Let the sadness exist. Name it. Stay close. Let them see you repair. Put the phone down more often than feels reasonable. Your child will not remember the trips. They will remember whether they were felt. That man in the therapist's office was loved. He just was not fully met. You have the chance to do the one thing no one did for him. Meet your child. Share this with a parent who needs it. Tell me which pattern hit closest to home. And keep watching. This conversation is only beginning.